Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. In today's video we're actually going to be making some doors for our cupboard out of some birch ply that we have left over from our stairs project. So what we'll be doing is getting these cut down to size. So we have a width of 80 centimeters with a drop of 107 centimeters. We'll be making the doors with a slight overhang of about half a centimeter each side. So we'll be cutting our birch ply to 108 centimeters. With a full height of the 80 centimeters and no more. So this is our sheet that we've got left with plenty of space. It's meant to be a BB grade, but unfortunately it's got a few notches, but there's only 3 left in this sheet, so perfectly happy to live with that. So what we're going to do is take a strip off this edge here, and then we're going to take a strip off the bottom and hopefully clean it up. It should be pretty clean with the circular saw on this one because it's only an 80mm ply board, so it should be perfectly fine. And then I'll just use a little mouse corner sander to clean up the edges. So what we'll do is we'll get our sizing cut, and then we will cut it, and then we'll do a straight cut down the middle where the doors will open individually. What I've done is I've cut my line, so we need 80 centimeters in width. Now the edge of my circular saw to the blade is 3 centimeters exactly. So what I've done is I've marked out 83 centimeters, and I've set my spirit level and I've clamped it down at the edges. So when I cut, we'll get our 80 centimeters in width. Now with that said, obviously when we cut down the middle we will probably lose about 2 to 3 mil, so I've also allowed for that. So it's actually 83.3 mil. So we have our perfect 40 centimeter doors on either side. So now that we've cut down our doors, I'm using a router to chamfer the edges of the doors to give it a nice slight curve, just make it a bit less aggressive and give it a bit more of a feature, so you can kind of see the birch ply laminated sides. You can pick up routers off Amazon and eBay and places like that for a relatively good price, but this one I borrowed from my neighbour, which is pretty high end. I also added the addition of a flush handle. My only gripe about it is now that I fitted the doors, I wish I had done it a bit higher, as I was thinking about the convenience of the kids as opposed to adults. But other than that, really happy with the way it came out. We're now moving on to the Osmo oil. Really important that you do oil your birch ply just to give it that longevity and also bring out the detail and the colour within the wood grain itself. I've been using Osmo oil for quite some time. They're a really good brand. Not affiliated with them in any way whatsoever, but I think it's worth using something when they do a great job, and in this instance Osmo has proven themselves time and time again. Right, there we go, so that's both the doors. Just going to leave them out here for a little while just to get a bit of air and help it dry out, but really happy with the final finish. So we are now in the process of putting the hinges on. We've had the walls done, they just need to be painted, which I'm going to do this evening, or put the first coat on at least anyway, or base coat, and then the 2 top coats. But for now I'm going to put the hinges on, and then we can put the doors on after. So I've just marked with a pencil where they need to go, and then I'm just going to drill in, screw those hinges in, and then we can attach the doors once the walls have been painted and everything, so we'll go from there. So first hinge is in. These do snap back quite a lot, so I'm not going to mess around with it too much, but once the doors are on, they're perfectly fine. So yeah, happy with that one. We'll get the other 3 done and then we'll get the doors on. Doors are now been routed, been sanded and also been stained and oiled, and they're pretty much dried. I'm really happy with the effects that's come out on this, really nice. So now what we're going to do is get them installed. So as you can see, I've already put the hinges on, which you would have seen earlier on in the video, and now we just want to get them in line and in place. So what I've done is I've just put two bits of plank of wood and a wooden cardboard box, which gives me the height that I need in order to fit it exactly where I want it effectively. So what I'm going to do is just put the door in place as to where I want it, hold that into place, and then just get a pencil on the inside and mark the holes as to where the hinges are, so I can pre-drill those and then we can get those screwed into place. So we'll get that done now. That is the first door on, so really happy with that. That's got a nice lever to it, like the hinges, really nice and clean. So now go get the second door on, make sure it lines up, level this one off. Right, so what we're going to do, we've got to make sure it's level at the top, and then bring it back. And here we are, the finished product. So how many of you noticed the wall colour change? Not many, I'm sure. If you did, drop me a comment down below, let me know. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button as well. But yes, birch plywood doors, as you can see, nicely finished. And what I really like about this is the detail as it crosses through the grain, crosses through the doors, and it's very difficult to get that in a non-customized item. And as you can see, the nice detail to the grain, which is really highlighted by the oil. I do recommend the oil. It's an Osmo oil and it's a really nice touch to the wood. So yeah, that's the bookshelf custom doors. And hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.